Hey, I'm here with my client, Andrea, and we just wrapped up a program, and she was kind enough to do this interview for me. Andrea, she really took in the information at a high level, I would say, and she implemented things quickly, and it was impressive to see. And she got some really cool results. So today we're going to talk about kind of what she came into this program for and where she's at now. So, Andrea, I'm going to let you take over. Could you just tell us kind of what you were dealing with health wise that made you join this program and kind of share some of the things that you were going through? Because a lot of other people are going through similar situations and they'll be able to see a lot of their symptoms and what you were going through.
Absolutely. So I actually have a lot of family members that have lots of ailments, and I have been following you for several months, and the information just started to ring true. And I reached out to you because I was dealing with a whole bunch of hormonal issues. Everything that I was experiencing every time I would go see someone, they would say, "Well, you're that age." And I was tired of hearing it. I didn't want to hear that anymore. I needed an answer. And so I was dealing with the hot flashes and the night sweats and sleeplessness and brain fog, and my hair was falling out in big chunks every time I'd wash it. Um, I deal with rashes, seasonal rashes, and skin conditions, and I didn't realize at the time that those were things that were major issues to me. But as I've gone through this program, I've realized, oh, look, my nails are harder. My hair's not falling out. I don't have night sweats. And so it's amazing the things that you don't pay attention to until they're fixed.
Yeah, yeah, and I think a lot of us are just led to believe that like that's part of getting older and like, oh, this is just what's going to happen. So it doesn't necessarily sound alarm bells, but of course, like it's not just part of getting older. There's always a physical reason behind it. So let's just jump to the end and then I'll kind of get your opinion on kind of the experience of everything that we did. So where are you at now? Like what are some of the big ways that you've noticed the symptoms improve? Like how is your life different now after going through a program?
So I just have an overall feeling of well being. Um, I don't really know how to describe it other than that. I don't have any cravings. My energy levels have steadied. I don't have ups and downs, and I sleep really well. When I rest, I sleep deep, and I haven't experienced that in years. Um, my, like I said, my skin actually is looking younger. I mean, I just hit 50, and it's nice to not be told it. Well, you're hitting 50, so I don't know. I I just feel balanced.
Yeah, for sure. Balance is a good word. And balance is great. Balance is like a place of strength. Like it might seem like kind of boring, but when you're coming from an unbalanced state of health and now you are balanced, it's like, okay, like um now you can proceed forward with life. We can are you okay talking about kind of the hormone replacements that you were on?
Yeah.
All right. So what was the situation there? And can you tell us about like kind of how you've had your doc kind of wean you off of them?
So like I said, I don't like growing old, and I didn't like being told that I was growing old and that everything that was happening to me was hormones. And so I opted to start doing the hormone replacement therapy, and I got on that. And during that time, they had indicated that, well, you've actually got something going on with your liver. So they gave me a supplement for that. And then the next blood test came along and they said, oh, well, your thyroid doesn't really look right. So they gave me a supplement for that. And That's really when it rang to me that something isn't right because they can't give me answers and all my organs can't just start failing on me. And so they kept changing doses and doing more blood tests, and then they'd change the dose and just give it some time. And when I finally reached out and started doing the program and realizing that hormones aren't the problem, my body's not going against me. I'm not growing old in 50s. I asked to start weaning off of them, and in weaning off of them, I've just started to feel better than before, and realize that I need to start being a voice to other women about the fact that hormones aren't the problem, and that it is food and that you can do it, and strictly just a different mindset.
Yeah, 100%. Um, yeah, I'm curious, did those people who were doing the hormone replacement therapy, did they talk about diet at all or not really?
As part of your intake form, they ask you like your lifestyle,
Yeah.
like what you do for eating,
Yeah.
um, the exercise. And I wasn't what I thought eating badly before. I actually had done some bodybuilding competitions, and so I was used to not eating the sweet treats and going out for the sodas. I I hardly go to restaurants. I have no idea what restaurants are around my neighborhood. So to me, I was eating well. Um, and so I think for that, they're just like, well, she's eating well. Can't be what she's eating. Um, so they always just focused on the dosages of hormones that they were giving me.
Yeah, and it's crazy. And then you come do this work, and I don't run any labs, and it's primarily food based. And, in a relatively short amount of time, you can get a hold of the root cause of these conditions and turn them around. Like it's incredibly simple compared to what most people are led to believe has to happen to get some improvements there. Okay, so I wanted to ask, like, what was your experience with the food? Was it torturous? Was it like grueling? Were there some things you liked, some things you didn't like about what you had to do with food over the course of the program?
So it was still an adjustment to me because I was used to food prepping, and there's a lot of food that you could just prep once in the week and you kind of freeze it or just put it in the refrigerator. And so the adjustment was, I did have to take a little bit more time to prep every day. But it's easier because you don't really have to put anything together. Like you can just grab the apple or the banana. You don't actually have to open a can and mix it or cook it or something. Funny enough, I actually had more ailments appear during the first month. Um, and I kept thinking, okay, I don't know what's going on here, but I've never experienced this before. And you just said, hang in there. Over time, it's just cleaning it out, and it is. It wasn't as bad as I remember it. I'm sure, um, but it was an adjustment. Uh, I don't know. You have simplified it. This is just simple. Once you wrap your head around how simple it is and what life has done to you, it's easy.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's very simple what needs to happen with food. Um, are there parts, at least parts of what you've done with food in the program that you can see yourself continuing on, like throughout the rest of your life? Or is it because some people, when they do a program, they like, all right, I'm just going to do this for X amount of time, and then Like, I don't know what I'm going to do now. Like, does this seem like you're going to be able to take pieces of it with you and kind of continue to reap the benefits of what we've done in the program?
Absolutely. Now that I have the education, um, I think I'm probably going to do the exact same thing my entire life. It won't be as strict. So if I have a family party and somebody's prepared something that's not on my list, I'm going to be okay with participating because I don't want to insult anybody. I want to be a part of the party, but I will know what has happened and the ramifications of me eating that, if that's the case. So in the future, if I have a symptom that pops up, I can actually look back and say, what have I been doing that that I know is irritating something, and I know how to get back.
That's the coolest part, I think, is like just giving people the power and the knowledge and the understanding that to where you're in charge and you're at least making informed decisions, right? And like if things do go south, well, guess what? You know what you can do to correct the ship if and when that time comes. So that's really cool to hear. I like that's if I could have one outcome for everyone, it would just be basically that. It's like so everyone can just like make the best decision, know what kind of they're getting into, and know what needs to happen in the future. So that's perfect. I'm very happy to hear that. Um, cool. Well, yeah, I'm very happy to hear, that everything went so well during the program and we got some great improvements on symptoms and we're reversing things at a root cause level that so many women just feel like it's a life sentence of just like that's part of being a woman. You just have to deal with all these menopause symptoms. And it's not true. If you willing to keep an open mind and put in some effort, you can really radically change your health naturally and not rely on these pharmaceutical medic interventions. So great work. Appreciate you hopping on here and sharing your experience. Anything else you'd like anyone who's watching this to know about the program or anything like that?
Nope, just take it into your own hands, become empowered, and life will change.
Excellent. Love it. All right. Thanks for hopping on, Andrea.
You bet.